All right, what's up, people? And I have to apologize immediately. This is not going to be a what the fuck is going on, bro? This is not going to be a shit talking video. This is going to be I don't know where I'm going to place it. So we're going to say it's in the Buddhism series somewhere. I don't know where I want to place it. I think it should probably be about 400 level or what. I have a lot of work to do. I mean, come on. I have a lot of work to do, man. You get this. But then again, I'm a lazy son of a bitch. So, well, stop saying that about my mother. She's deceased. Whatever. I can take a joke. I can even sometimes theoretically make a joke. But what I want to talk about is I want to talk about yanas within Buddhism. And the concept of a yana is basically like a barge or like a device to get down the river, something like that, like a boat or something. You can translate it a lot of different ways. But the idea is that basically within traditional Buddhism, there are only 3 yanas. However, within Tibetan Buddhism, there are actually 9, and some would argue 12. I don't know if I buy the last 3, but, it is what it is. So, the idea behind this is this belt levels. It's basically the concept of who can understand what and at what level are we teaching. You don't teach a first grader calculus. That would be retarded. I mean, who would do that, right? You would never teach a first grader calculus. You have to teach them 1 + 1 = 2 first. Although, I don't know. That might be racist currently. Is that racist currently? Hold on, let me check. But the idea is basically that the lower yanas, within the traditional splitting, is Hinayana. Hinayana is a small boat. It's basically the original teachings of the Buddha, which are contained within what are called the Sutras. The Sutras are kind of like analogous to what in Islam are called, what are they called in Islam again? Hold on, wait for it. Fuck. Mind fart. Whatever the fuck the sayings of Muhammad are in Islam. That was a total mind fart. See, normally with most people that polish their shit up, they would stop the video and they would go and Google search the shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna do that. You know what the fuck I'm talking about. You have the Quran, and then you have the Hadith. Thank you. My mind. The Hadith, the sayings of the Prophet, right? So the sutras are basically the sayings of the Buddha, according to tradition, which all tradition is basically fucked up. So we don't even really need to, I don't know, get too deep into that bullshit, right? Because what happened is that Buddhism basically transformed itself because of an impetus, the impetus being it might have been a historical figure named Gautama, Siddhartha, the prince in India, whatever the fuck. Who cares? Nobody cares about that. If you look at the traditional Tibetan lineage, that's almost inconsequential, right? So the teachings evolved. And once they evolved, they started asking different questions. If you confine yourself to the sutras, you're going to get confused about what Buddhism really is. You're going to think, "Oh man, it's saying this," when actually it's saying the opposite. Because sometimes, okay, I'm going to give you an analogy. Sometimes you poke the bear because you want it to attack you. That would be stupid. But I mean, hey, you could do that. Other times you poke the bear because you want it to go away. There's always a third alternative. And be like, well, why else would you poke the bear? Well, I'll let you answer that. Because this is a video on Buddhism. And if you don't get it by now, if you don't understand it by now. So, okay, so you have the sutras, which are basically supposedly, it'd be like the Gospels, like the synoptics, Matthew, Mark, and Luke. This is what Jesus actually said and did as a historical figure and blah, blah, blah. And then you have the Gospel of John. That's metaphysical and blah, blah. So then you get the second fucking Yana. Then there's the breakthrough Yana, where it's like, oh shit. Now we're fucking non-dual in this motherfucker. Except those are just the 3 lowest levels. You've only got a green belt at that point. Buddhism is so much more in-depth than that. I could recommend so many things. If you really want to, see my fucking video series on this already. To understand what's really going on. This is a very diverse tradition within itself. And there are understandings within the highest, what are called tantras. Tantras are basically texts that are generated by divine intervention, but that's one way to look at it. I don't look at it that way, obviously. I don't believe in such a thing. But that are understood to reflect the fact that consciousness itself is primary and is non-dual. It's given. There is no question. Like, we can't question it. It's the point. It's the same thing the fucking scholars within Christianity do. There has to be a point past which you cannot ask any questions. You're given something, and that something is fucking final. And I know that kind of sucks, and I know that might be 42. Got to throw a shout out to you, bro, because that's kind of who this video is made for a little bit. But there has to be a point at which you stop asking questions, because suchness, thisness, thusness, the reality itself is all that matters. And that's the problem you're given to solve. You're not given to solve the mysteries of the universe. Nobody is. If you watch all of my fucking high-level videos on Buddhism, you'll understand that. Nobody's sent here at all, but nobody's sent here to fucking solve a problem other than their own fucking facticity. That's when you get into the black belt level teachings. I leave that white belt stuff for juveniles. You know what I'm saying? Because it's goofy. It's really goofy, in my opinion. You got people bowing down to fucking statues of a Buddha. I think that guy would be disappointed a little bit. Seriously. He was an atheist. He didn't believe in gods. He didn't even believe in himself that much. But I don't want to talk about that, dude. When you really get into the deep level teachings of Tibetan Buddhism, you're no longer talking about the shit that like religious Buddhists even care about. It's kind of like the difference between St. Paul and Meister Eckhart, if that makes any fucking sense. Summer, leave it there. 9 minutes, we're good. 9 yanas. I didn't lay them out because I don't need to.